Have you ever woken up one morning, stared at your coffee, and thought, I used to be so excited about life? Where did that feeling go? Maybe you once dreamed of writing a book, learning to paint, starting a garden, or even opening a small business. But then life happened, work, family, responsibilities, they all took priority. And now, here you are, years later, wondering if it's too late to start again. I want you to hear me clearly. It is not too late. In fact, this stage of life might be the best time to do it. Why? Because you finally have something you didn't have in your younger years: wisdom, perspective, and the freedom to create on your own terms. Your passion project isn't just about the thing itself. It's about bringing more joy, purpose, and energy back into your days. So let's start by shaking off that little voice in your head that says, I'm too old for this. You're not too old. You're experienced. You've already navigated storms, raised families, built careers, and overcome things that would have stopped a younger version of you in their tracks. If you can do that, you can absolutely breathe life back into a dream you've put on hold. The first step is to remember why you loved it in the first place. Think back to the moment when that spark first appeared. Was it the way your hands moved when you were sketching as a teenager? The rush you felt when you played a song on your guitar? The quiet satisfaction of fixing something with your own two hands? Reconnecting with the feeling behind your passion is like lighting the first candle in a dark room. It makes the next step possible. Once that memory is fresh in your mind, start small. And I mean really small. If you want to write, don't pressure yourself to start with a full chapter. Just write a paragraph about anything that inspires you. If you want to start painting, pull out one brush, one color, and make a few strokes. If it's gardening, plant one pot of herbs on your kitchen windowsill. The magic is in making it manageable, because small wins build momentum, and momentum is what keeps you going. Another thing that can breathe life into your passion is community. Doing it alone can feel isolating, but when you share your journey with others, even just a few friends or an online group, you create accountability and encouragement. Imagine joining a local photography club where people cheer you on, or posting your progress on social media so your grandkids can see. You never know who might be inspired by watching you take this leap. And here's something important: forget perfection. Perfection is the enemy of joy. You're not here to impress anyone. You're here to enjoy the process. Some days your work will shine. Other days it might feel clumsy. And that's okay. Every stroke, every sentence, every note is part of the story you're telling about who you are now. So, today, I want you to give yourself permission to start again. Not tomorrow, not someday. Today. Pick up that pen, that brush, that instrument, or that seed packet, and just begin, because when you do, you'll notice something. That tiredness you've been feeling, it starts to lift. Your days feel lighter, your mind feels sharper, and you start looking forward to tomorrow again. Now that you've taken that brave first step and begun to rekindle your passion, the question becomes, how do you keep that spark alive? Because starting is one thing, but nurturing it day after day is where the magic and the challenge really happens. One of the most powerful things you can do is create a gentle routine around your passion, not a strict, military-style schedule that makes it feel like homework, but a dedicated little pocket of time that's just for you. It could be 20 minutes in the morning before the world wakes up, or half an hour in the afternoon with a cup of tea. Protect that time the way you'd protect an appointment with your doctor. Because in a way, it is an appointment with your well-being. And here's a secret: you don't need to wait until you feel inspired to work on your project. Inspiration is wonderful, but it's unreliable. The real progress comes when you show up for your passion even on the days when you're not in the mood. Think of it like tending a plant. You don't only water it when you feel like it. You keep showing up, and in time, the rewards grow naturally. Another key is to set gentle, achievable goals. If you're writing, maybe your goal is to complete One short story by the end of the month. If you're learning guitar, perhaps you want to master one song over the next few weeks. These small goals give you something to aim for without creating overwhelming pressure. And every time you reach one, you'll feel that satisfying little rush that keeps you moving forward. It also helps to make your environment work for you. Surround yourself with reminders of your passion. Keep your paints and brushes visible, instead of tucked away in a closet. Leave your notebook open on the table so it's ready for your next idea. If you love baking, keep your favorite recipe book on the counter. The easier it is to begin, the more likely you are to keep going. And don't underestimate the power of learning. Picking up new skills or techniques related to your passion can keep it fresh and exciting. Take a class at a local community center, join an online workshop, or watch tutorials from people who share your interest. Not only will you improve your abilities, but you'll also be reminded that growth doesn't stop just because you've hit a certain age. In fact, learning something new at this stage of life can be even more fulfilling. You're doing it purely for the love of it, not because someone is grading you. Lastly, find ways to celebrate your progress. Too often we wait until the big finish to feel proud, but the journey itself is worth honoring. Maybe you reward yourself with a special outing after finishing a project milestone, or share your work with friends over coffee. Even simply acknowledging to yourself, "I showed up today," is a celebration in its own right. Your passion project doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to change the world. But it will change your world if you give it the care and consistency it deserves. And as you nurture it, you might just find that it begins to nurture you in ways you never expected. As your passion project grows, something beautiful begins to happen. It starts to take on a life of its own. You'll notice your thoughts drifting to it during quiet moments. You'll find yourself looking forward to that special time you've carved out, and you'll start feeling a renewed sense of purpose that spills over into other parts of your life. This is the stage where you can give your project deeper meaning. One powerful way to do that is to connect it to something larger than yourself. Ask yourself, who else could benefit from what I'm creating? If you've taken up woodworking, maybe you could make toys for local children or furniture for a community space. If you're writing, perhaps your stories could be shared with family members or published online for others to enjoy. If you're gardening, you might donate fresh produce to a neighbor or local food pantry. Suddenly, your project isn't just a hobby, it's a gift to the world around you. You might also find joy in teaching or mentoring. Your experience, both in life and in your craft, is a treasure that younger generations often don't have. Imagine showing a grandchild how to knit, guiding a friend through their first painting, or teaching someone how to play that song you've mastered. When you share what you love, you not only keep your spark alive, you help light it in others. It's also important to remember that your passion project can evolve. Maybe you start with watercolor painting and discover you love sketching more. Or you begin by writing poems, but find yourself drawn to memoirs. Let your curiosity lead you without worrying about getting off track. This is your journey, and the twists and turns are part of the adventure. And through it all, listen to yourself. Some days, you'll be buzzing with energy, ready to dive in 4 hours. Other days, you might only manage 10 minutes. That's okay. The goal is not to push yourself to exhaustion, but to keep a steady, enjoyable rhythm that fits your life. This isn't a race. It's a relationship between you and something that makes you feel alive. When you look back months or even years from now, you may be amazed at what you've created, but more than that, you'll see how much you've grown. Your project will have given you more than just skills or finished pieces. It will have given you a sense of joy, focus, and connection that can make this chapter of life richer than you ever imagined. So as you set down your tools, your pen, your instrument, or your seeds for the day, take a moment to appreciate yourself. You didn't let the fear of too late stop you. You prove that passion doesn't have an expiration date. And every time you choose to show up for that dream, you're sending yourself and the world A powerful message. I am still growing. I am still creating. And I am still full of life.